Good morning, 8th grade math. Welcome to Friday. We've made it. Friday, November the 13th, 2020. And just because today's Friday the 13th doesn't mean it's going to be a bad luck day. Because we're going to go through this non-proportional and proportional situations, practice and problem solving C. And when we get through, you're going to be brilliant. So we have a table here, number of dogs, number of cats. So the values in the table represent the number of dogs and cats at animal shelters. The relationship is linear. So describe the relationship in other ways. So this worksheet is really the higher level thinking skills. So what I want to challenge you to do, add those numbers up. So you have 40, 60, and 24. So that's 124. 50, 80, 128. Okay? So one way to look at this is looking at the ratio of 124 to 128. Now, that is not proportional. Okay? So that's why it's asking you to describe the relationship in other ways. Now, if we did it one by one, 5 to 4, okay, 48 to 60, 30 to 24, even then it would be non-proportional. So that's how we're going to describe it. We're going to describe the relationship of dogs to cats is not proportional. Now, remember what proportional means. In other words, the linear function does not begin at the origin. And I'm going to go ahead and put 0, 0 there just so you remember where that's at. Okay? So, we're describing it in a different way. Let's go on to number 2. The graph shows the amount of time it takes Brittany to jog different numbers of miles. So, when you look at a graph like this, before you look at any question, look at the graph. Look at the line. It's a straight line. It starts at 0, 0. So right away, I know that it is proportional, and I know that it is linear. So the first question is A, is the relationship proportional or non-proportional? Explain. The relationship is proportional because it starts at the origin. And is constant. Now, for those of you who may be like I was when I was your age, I would have said, come on, nobody jogs at a constant rate like this. And that's true. People don't. But this is just a hypothetical case just to get you to think about it, okay? Now, identify and interpret the slope and the y-intercept. So I'm looking at this line, and I'm saying where it crosses the vertices, the vertex. I see right here at 17 and 2. Okay? So, if I were to use these values, which means it's going to also be here at 34 and 4, and then another 17 would be 51 and 6. So all of these values are the same. Well, okay. So you go up 17 and over 2. Well, 17 divided by 2 equals 8.5. Or 8, y equals 8.5x. Because a half of 17 is 8.5. And if you look, it's constant all the way up. The y-intercept is 0. 0. So that's what it's asking us for. They want you to interpret the slope. Well, we did that. Y equals 8.5x. So no matter what I put there, if I put 8.5 times 2, 17. 8.5 times 4, 34. 8.5 times 8, 68. All right? Now, let's look at number 3. The variables f, I, and c represent feet, inches, and centimeters respectively. So, the equation B is I equals 0.39 C. Okay? So what they want to know is the relationship between centimeters and inches proportional? Justify your answer in 2 different ways. Okay. Let me think. How am I going to justify my answer? Let me think about that. I'll take a calculator. And I will divide 1.95 divided by 5. 0.39. 3.12 divided by 8.39. 8.58 divided by 22.39. So, when you look at this, we have the equation is in the form of y equals mx plus b. Okay? But they're using f instead of x. So an inch equals 12f. Okay? 12 inches to a foot. We know that's true. Equation B. Equation B is telling us that an inch equals 0.39 centimeters, 0.39 centimeters. We know that's true because we just checked it. So it is proportional. Because It begins at the origin. Is the relationship between inches and feet proportional? Why or why not? Yes. There are 12 inches to every foot. And both of these measurements are going to be proportional. Now, we don't use the metric system here, which is why we don't use centimeters. But we're about the only country in the world that doesn't. So we have to know how to convert this information. So an inch, each inch is 39 hundredths of a centimeter. Each inch is 39 hundredths of a centimeter. And there are 12 inches per foot. Okay? So that concludes our group work. Your work is to complete 4-4, practice and problem solving AB, 1 through 8. Today you should be completing all of your math. The code word for today is character. Character. I'll see you at 10 a.m.